Hello, hello, hello. How are you? I hope you are enjoying yourself so far. I have a favor to ask you. If you can, real quick, hit the follow button wherever you're getting this podcast so you'll be notified when I drop a new episode. Also, comment, and share because sharing is caring. Thank you. Hello, hello, hello. I recently found out that I have been featured in FeedSpot's Top 10 Black Muslim podcast. I'm currently at number 3. I am so humbled and grateful and I'm at a loss for words. I can't even tell you what this means to me. To know that this humble podcast is, inshallah, going to grow and is reaching people around the world. Once again, thank you, FeedSpot, for this honor. And I also want to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the gifts that He has bestowed upon me. Allahu Akbar. In this project, it is my intention to share the stories of the prophets from the Islamic perspective. For those of you who are not familiar with Islam, or for Muslims for that matter, most immediately think of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, meaning may the peace and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon him as the prophet of the faith. In reality, for those of you who do not know, Islam is the last of the 3 monotheistic faiths, including Judaism and Christianity, where many of the prophets are mentioned. The prophets found in the Torah and in the Bible you will find in the Holy Quran. Islam, however, depicts them in a more honorable light because they were chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as prophets and messengers. Allah chooses the best in character and conduct to be prophets and messengers. For instance, there will be honorifics mentioned after the names of the prophets and messengers, such as A.S. alayhi salam, peace be upon him, and S.A.W. sallallahu alayhi wasallam. S.W.T. subhanallahu alayhi wasallam will be mentioned when Allah or the God is mentioned. I will also be using the term the Creator to describe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. But throughout this narrative, it is my intention to paint the picture of a consistent theme that has occurred throughout our human history. How we, mankind, were created by our Creator to serve Him. How He has other creation that also serve Him. But the 2 of those creations that He granted free will, that creation has decided to either obey or not to obey throughout existence, and the consequences that follow then and now. Hopefully, inshallah, God willing, you will hear and hopefully heed the message. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hears and knows all things. He knows my intentions of this project, and He is perfect. Any and all errors are mine and mine alone. Salam. Hello, 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 and welcome back to The Conversation Piece with your host, Akila. We start with the first man, our ancestral father, Adam alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the pen. The pen was instructed to write. The pen wrote everything that will happen up until the day of resurrection, the day of judgment. Therefore, it is understood by believers that it is, quote, it is already written. The creation story of Adam alayhi salam from the Islamic perspective differs from the Christian faith. Christians believe that Adam alayhi salam was created and was supposed to live in paradise. And when the serpent tempted Eve, Eve tempted Adam alayhi salam with the apple. They both got kicked out of paradise and sent to earth as a punishment. The blame is placed on Eve, the woman. The Islamic perspective is different. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states that he will place a vicegerent, a Khalifah, a successor on earth. Surah 2, Ayah 30. And mention, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when your Lord said to the angels, indeed, I will make upon the earth a successive authority. They, the angels, said, will you place upon it one who causes corruption therein and sheds blood, while we declare your praise and sanctify you? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, indeed, I know that which you do not know. Adam alayhi salam is mentioned in the Quran as being made of these three substances: dust, soil, clay. Even in Genesis chapter 2 verse 7, and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Adam alayhi salam was not created as an infant like Prophet Isa, Jesus alayhi salam. Adam alayhi salam came into existence as an adult. Surah 2, Ayah 31. And he, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, taught Adam alayhi salam the names, all of them. Then he showed them to the angels and said, inform me of the names of these, if you are truthful. They said, exalted are you. We have no knowledge except what you have taught us. Indeed, it is you who is the knowing, the wise. He said, O Adam, inform them of their names. And when he had informed them of their names, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, did I not tell you that I know the unseen aspects of the heavens and the earth? And I know what you reveal and what you conceal. And mentioned when we said to the angels, prostrate before Adam. So they prostrated except for Iblis. He refused and was arrogant and became of the disbelievers. Who is Iblis? Iblis was a jinn, but was highly respected to the point where he was permitted to be in the company of the angels, those closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Iblis was among the angels when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it known. Behold, your Lord said to the angels, I will create a vicegerent on earth. They said, will you place therein one who will make mischief therein and shed blood, while we do celebrate your praises and glorify your holy name? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I know what you know not. Iblis, a jinn, did not raise an objection at this point. He was quiet while the angels asked about the disposition of mankind. The angels can question, but are still obedient to their creator. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala began to fashion Adam alayhi salam. Adam alayhi salam was made of a mixture of dust, soil, and clay. Adam alayhi salam was molded into clay, molded into shape. Iblis was curious about Adam alayhi salam, but then again did not raise an objection at this point. Surah 55, Ayah 14. He created man from sounding clay like unto pottery, and he created jinns from fire free of smoke. When Adam alayhi salam was fashioned into an adult, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blew his ruh, his spirit, into Adam alayhi salam. The breath of the creator is the same breath passed down to mankind. This breath makes us distinguishable from other creation. So Iblis knew there was something different about Adam alayhi salam. Surah 2, Ayah 31. And he taught Adam the names of all things. Then he placed them before the angels and said, "Tell me the names of these if you are right." The angels replied, they said, "Glory to you. Of knowledge we have none except what you have taught us. In truth, it is you who are perfect in knowledge and wisdom." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught Adam alayhi salam things that the angels had no knowledge of. Because of this, Adam alayhi salam was raised above the angels. Surah 2, Ayah 33. Allah said, "O Adam, tell them their names." When Adam alayhi salam told them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Did I not tell you that I know the secrets of the heavens and the earth, and I know what you reveal and what you conceal?" And behold, we said to the angels, "Bow down to Adam," and they bowed down. Not so Iblis. He refused and was haughty. He was of those who rejected and was disobedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The angels bowed down to Adam alayhi salam because they were given a command by their creator, but also as a sign of respect. Iblis, however, refused to do either. Surah 38, Ayah 75. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "O Iblis, what prevents you from prostrating yourself to one whom I have created with my own hands? Are you haughty, or are you one of the high and mighty ones?" Surah 7, Ayah 12. Iblis said, "I am better than Adam. You created me from fire, and you created him from clay." Now many will address the issue that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave a command to the angels, and Iblis was not expected to bow down. Iblis cannot feign ignorance that he did not know about the creation of Adam alayhi salam. He was there when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made his intentions clear about placing a vicegerent, a successor on the earth. However, Iblis was at the station of the angels who are nearest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Iblis is creation and not creator. So when your creator gives you a command, regardless of who it is being directed at, then it is expected of you to follow the command. Iblis lost all rationale and objectivity. He had the audacity to suggest that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put him in the wrong, that it was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's fault that he was rebelling. This is his argument. Surah 17, Ayah 61 to 62. Should I bow down to one who you created from clay? See you? This is the one who you have honored above me. If you will but give me respite until the day of judgment, I will surely bring his descendants under my sway, all but a few. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have easily destroyed Iblis at this very moment, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees all and knows all. But Iblis stated a deed without any action at this point, and in order to hold Iblis accountable for his actions, his wish was granted. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded to Iblis. Surah 17, Ayah 63 through 64. Go your way, and if any of them follow you, verily hell will be the recompense of you all, an ample recompense. Lead to destruction those who you can among them with your seductive voice. Make assaults on them with your cavalry and your infantry. Mutually share with them wealth and children, and make promises to them. But Satan promises them nothing but deceit. Surah 15, Ayah 42. For over my servants, no authority shall you have over them, except those who put themselves in the wrong and follow you. Surah 7, Ayah 13. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, O Iblis, get down from this paradise. It is not for you to be arrogant here. Get out, for you are of those humiliated and disgraced. Surah 7, Ayah 16. Iblis said, because you have sent me astray, surely I will sit and wait against them on your straight path. Surah 7, Ayah 18. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Iblis, "Get out from this paradise, disgraced and expelled. Whoever of mankind will follow you, then surely I will fill hell with you all." Iblis is now an open enemy to Adam alayhi salam, and by extension, his descendants. That is us. He has fallen from Iblis and is now referred to as Shaitan or Satan. Shaitan, translated from Arabic, means to separate, to distance, to lead astray, and that is Shaitan's mission, to separate and distance ourselves from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Creator, the one true God. Satan has made it his mission to take as many of us to the hellfire with him. He already knows his fate on the day of judgment, and even on that day, he will feign ignorance in the role he played in getting the inhabitants of the hellfire there with him. The people of hellfire will not take accountability for their actions. They will place the blame on Satan, the devil. Well, Iblis, Satan, the devil, is the master of deception and will have some words for his scorching hot roommates. Surah 14, Ayah 22. And Satan will say, when the matter is decided, "It was Allah who gave you a promise of truth. I too promised, but I failed in my promise to you. I had no authority over you except to call you, but you listened to me. Then reproach not me, but reproach your own souls. I cannot listen to your cries, nor can you listen to mine. I reject your former act in associating me with Allah. For wrongdoers, there must be a grievous penalty." On the day of resurrection, the only creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that will be standing in judgment are mankind and jinn. We are the only creation of which have free will, the ability to choose right or wrong, to act on our own accordance that was granted. Everything else in creation submits to the Creator. It is a part of their design by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious, the most merciful. Some who study the sciences call it intelligent design. We are all being tested, and each of us faces a different test. We all have different vices and weaknesses, and Satan and his tribe watch us from a position we cannot see them. They study us and make a calculated move. Satan has no power over us, only to suggest, and he has a perspective. He wants to prove to his creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the creation of mankind was a mistake, that Adam alayhi salam was a mistake. Satan's mission is to make us forget about our creator, and throughout human history, we drifted and forgot about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We started to worship idols. So messengers were sent to remind us of our purpose, that there is nothing more important than worshiping the one true God. Prophets and messengers were sent as a mercy to remind us, because mankind is not perfect. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that Satan and his army are ever present, ever pressing, to destroy as many of us as possible. But again, we are given free will. We have a choice. We can either obey or disobey. So then why is evil allowed to persist? To make the case, the deeds and the actions must be manifest and evident and clear in order for true accountability and justice to be dispensed and carried out. It sucks that innocent men, women, and children are victims, but those same innocent men, women, and children will get to dispense justice against their oppressors on that day. That is true justice, true accountability. We will be held accountable for our own actions. The day of resurrection, the day of judgment, is the true day of justice. The pen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written everything in existence from the beginning of time until the end of time. It is already written. We don't know what is going to happen, but as we go through our lives in a test that are sure to come, we have a say in the matter. All the world is a stage. The pen of the angels write our deeds, both good and bad, and our book of deeds will be presented to us on a day of judgment. We are all authors. We cannot feign ignorance that we were not given any warnings, that no one was sent to us. As a Muslim, it is my duty to remind my fellow believers, just as I remind myself, about what our true purpose is on this earth. And at least 5 times a day, we prostrate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord and cherisher of the worlds. That is our salvation, the act of worship. The one act that Iblis refused to do, and he made that choice. On the next episode, the creation of Hawa alayhi salam, otherwise known as our ancestral mother, Eve. I have a favor to ask you. If you can, real quick, hit the follow button wherever you're getting this podcast, so you'll be notified when I drop a new episode. Also, like, comment, and share, because sharing is caring. Thank you. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Conversation Piece Podcast. I am your humble host, Akila, requesting that you join me again. So, until then, be safe, love and value yourself so that you can love and value others. I bid you adieu with the greeting, Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you.